Good evening and welcome to All for United WFC Twitter Live once again. It's Saturday night. It's gone a little 8 o'clock again. I know, sorry, but our kid Matt's had technical difficulties as usual. If it ain't me, it's Matt. If it's not Matt, it's me. So I do apologise that we're 1 minute late. But welcome again to Ben and Matt Saturday Night Live. How are we, Matt?
Yeah, I'm all good, pal. How are you?
Not bad. You had a good week?
Yeah, can't complain. It's been a week off from work and I've got another one to follow. So, yeah, just chilling out, catching up, looking forward to pubs opening on Monday, if we could say that.
I think Nat's definitely looking forward to the old pubs opening, isn't she?
Not just the pubs, mate, just getting a bit more, social interaction back. Now we can, go out and legally be allowed to, go and see someone or just catch up. So it's just good, innit? Because obviously it's one thing speaking to people on a screen, and it's another thing actually just having that sort of in-person laugh, isn't it? But no, can't complain, pal. So yeah, evening Robert as well. He's on it straight away.
He always is, Rob. He's always and John as well. John as well. He's on it. Always sharp and ready, those two. I do believe we're battling with the USA national women's team playing. I think they're playing Sweden at the minute.
Never heard of them.
No, mate, don't bother me, mate. To be fair, the US national side don't bother me at all. But yeah, thank you for everyone that's joining us. I know we'll probably be a little bit down numbers tonight because of the US national women's side playing. And I know how much people love that side for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so basically, I'm going to go on a little rant in a bit. But it's 1-1, Natalie's saying. That's all good. Hopefully some of our players may have scored. But maybe, I believe Press played on the wing. So anyway, thank you for joining us, everybody. I'm going to go on a little bit. Oh, it's full time. Oh, 1-1 at full time. I thought it was still going on, but shows you how much I pay attention to international football. Even though this show is called Calling International Rescue. Matt, do you think this international break has come once again, maybe at the right time, coming as a bit of a blessing in disguise for us? Or do you think we're susceptible to an international break? Because every time we come back off one, we perform absolutely poo sticks. So, what's your general feeling? Is this a blessing in disguise? Is it now another chance for us to rally round and get our heads together?
You know what? This is going to sound funny because I said this about the last international break. I said, it's come at a good time. We'll come back from it. We usually start slow and then we'll kick on. And little did I know it'd still be a bit of a rough ride, shall we say. So whilst, yes, again, it does, like I said last time, come at a good time, how we react after it again is massively important. Like I said, the last one that we had, I thought came at a perfect time. And I thought, yeah, we'll kick on after this. We didn't. And now we're back saying the same thing again, hoping that we're going to kick on again. So to answer your question, yes, it's come at a good time. Will we have learnt from the last sort of one? Hopefully. Ready for the end of the season. I know. Do you know what? This is going to be one of them things. I agree. And I said this the other day in a conversation to a couple of people. I said, do you know what? I said, I just want the season done now. I really do. One, because we can't even get in anyway. And two, because it just feels like it's done. Like now we just had such a bad run. It just feels like, like at the end of the Premier League when you've played your games and there's nothing to play for. You've either won something or you've got, your qualification for Champions League or whatever it may have been. It just feels like just a little bit like stale now. And I hate saying that. It pains me saying that. Because over the years, still love it. Absolutely love it. But over the years, I've had so many good times. Well,
I was about to say, but it's true, we've still got a cup competition to play for in a way. Arguably a very, very famous cup competition. So is it really all over yet? I know in terms of the league, possibly getting that top three, maybe it is, but again, Arsenal, they're going to still slip up, they're still going not to slip up, you know what I mean? So maybe there's still a little bit we can still play on. Do you think? Or do you not fancy an FA Cup run this season? Let's chase the FA Cup. I'm not so sure.
One of them, FA Cup,
is it?
Yeah. No, I can still hear you, pal. I don't know what. It's probably StreamYard again because I got turfed off the other day. But no, FA Cup, yeah. I think there is 2 more. I see Victor said, well, I'm sure there's 2. I think there's one 18th of May as well. So there is 2 more rounds. But I mean, listen, even if we do win them 2 rounds, you know, it's not like the cup's finishing this year. So in terms of this season, really, there's still nothing as far as I'm concerned. You know, yes, we need to be winning the FA Cup rounds to get far, and yes, we do need to come up with a trophy, which I know we're going to talk about sort of trophies and things later on in the show. But you know, for me, yeah, it's just a case of get it done now. You know, like I say, it's disappointing that it's finished this way for me. It's something that, you know, like I say, I'm just willing it away. I've never ever said that about, you know, the women's team, about, you know, I just want it done. Never. So yes, one of them. I don't know. Just get it done. Get summer in. You know, whatever happens in summer happens, and then let's get back in August, September, whenever it is. Let's get behind the team and let's just go afresh. For me,
Just a disappointment, isn't it, mate? Of just dropping out that top 3. You know, that loss. It's just knocked the stuffing out of us. I can feel it, mate. It's just knocked the stuffing out of a few of us now. You know, it's like, is this done now? You know, it's hard to see if Arsenal will drop points, even though I'm trying to be. Trying to keep the faith a little bit. I'm trying to. I think wishfully thinking that Arsenal will drop points and drop, you know, but it's a big ask.
I think the thing is, for me, they've got to drop points in 2 games. I think, you know, one loss still won't be enough. I think it's going to be a loss and a draw, 2 losses, which is again is a big ask. But yeah.
On that point though, about trophies and everything, like I put in a little title in. Does Case, because it obviously gets leveled at Ollie a lot now. Case is into a third season now. Third season will be complete. I know last season got knocked on the head, you know, due to the pandemic, so it wasn't a complete season. But now 3 seasons in, does she need a trophy this season to show real progress, or is league position where we finished? Is that enough to warrant saying that we progressed, you know, because I think it's leveled at Ole Solskjaer quite a lot. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that he needs a trophy. He needs a trophy this season for it to be a bit of progression, even though we're sitting second in the league at his current time in the Premier League. So, do you think Casey needs a trophy this season, or can we go one more and then maybe go out and look at winning trophies?
I'm going to split this into 2 parts, actually, because the first part you mentioned about, do we need a trophy this season? I'm going to say no. 1, because we can't win one anyway. And 2, because I think, you know, last season was a half. So no matter how you count it, it's still only our first full WSL season, or, you know, we've had 1.5. If people want to count it as 2, then count it as 2. That's in the top league, don't forget as well. So I think, in terms of trophy, not this season, 100% next season. You know, starting 21-22 season, we need to finish in 2022 in May with at least 1 trophy. Whatever trophy it is, not bothered if it's Conti Cup, FA Cup, whichever, the league, brilliant. You know, has to be a trophy next year, 100% for me. Now, you talked about progression, and something I said, and I'm still sticking by it, was season's been a failure for me. Now, some people obviously have different views and how they interpret progression based on, you know, what they think, which is perfectly fine. But I think for me is that, you know, some people had said we closed the gap between 3rd and 4th, which yes, we have, and some people call that progression. That's fine. My take on it is that, you know, we've chucked away a good league position. You know, obviously never expected to win it, but even being in that top 3, I was 100% convinced that we'd finish in the top 3. And we've not done it, and we've lost in the Conti Cup. And these are points I've made on the last, you know, few shows, and we've talked about this, and I've been vocal about it on Twitter. So I think, you know, in terms of progression, I like, you know, like I say, I have a different take on progression. I think closing points is great, but, you know, it's not like we've closed the points and we've scored more, for example. You know, the records are pretty identical, aren't they? Barring the points, we're still low scorers. We're still, you know, defensively not corrected it. And, you know, I don't want to sound negative, because this is my, you know, what it might come off as, but I think it just depends on it. But my personal take on it is, have we progressed? No. In terms of closing points, okay, that's a little bit of progression for me. It's not brilliant, but it's something, you know what I mean, if we're looking at it from a positive spin. But Yeah, and like you say, like I touched on just before, to answer your question about trophies, has to be 100% next year. Otherwise, questions will be asked, sort of what's going on, so to speak. Because obviously, say last year got halted. This year we've got nothing. So now you're looking at third year. Can't really go 3 years without a trophy, can we?
No, absolutely not, mate. I don't know, man. Where's it all gone wrong this season now? What's happened since that winter break, mate? I'm looking at heads going down. I'm looking at no leadership on the field. I'm looking at players just look lost, mate. You know, and I don't know, man. Is the expectations too much at Manchester United? And I put it in one of the tweets just before we went as a build up to the show. Does playing for Manchester United have far greater pressure than playing for any other club or team in the world? And I include international sides in that as well. Is the pressure too much for some of these players, do you think?
Do you know what I think it is? And I had this conversation. It was quite interesting. I think I was chatting about 3 or 4 days ago about this. Is that what's happened is we've still got a core of players from the championship season, right? And I think expectations obviously rise year on year. And what I think we're finding is those, I mean, it's not all the originals, because there is a few that, you know, are not originals that maybe haven't handled the expectation. But I think as expectations have increased, certain players haven't sort of risen to that increased expectation and pressure. Without yeah, still there. Yeah, I was saying basically you improve and you progress year on year, and certain players haven't handled those expectations. So, you know, it's like Vic said, if you can't handle the pressure, you shouldn't be at Man United. And I think this is why I say some is huge, because those players that we had in season one that may now not be of the required standard are probably the same players that you're looking at in terms of expectations. And you're thinking, you know, can they now handle it? You know, this is a club going for Champions League and league titles. In the Championship, we knew we were the best, and we were probably looking at sustaining WSL, which was fine. But now fans' expectations rise based on investment and more quality coming in, the likes of, you know, attracting Tobin and Kristen. And I think, like I say, you know, for me, it's got to be everybody moves up together, or you're left behind or shipped out. And I think, you know, yeah, cruel to be kind. It's one of them, you know. There's talks there as well about sentiment, and I agree. You know, a few fans have said this. It's not just been me. You know, we've got to now sort of let go of sentiment and some OG21, and we've got to start doing it now in terms of letting them go. Because I look at the starting lineup, evening Lucas, look at the starting lineup sometimes, and I think, you know, is it still sentiment? We're saying, oh well, we're putting this player in because of this, or we're putting that player in because of that. But that's in the past. To me, that's done. You know, you've got to progress each year, because, you know, fan pressure is one thing, but imagine the pressure from the club, you know, the directors and the owners and people like that. So pressure is just part of football. It's part of life, really, isn't it? You know, you get it in job in general, whether you're a footballer or not. And I think, you know, this is part of the problem, is that pressure has got to maybe certain players or things, you know, and it's got too much for those type players. I mean, listen, without being too disrespectful, the players that leave in summer, they're not going to be going to like an Arsenal, Chelsea, or a City, are they? They're not going to be going with equal expectation. It's the old saying, isn't it? Once you leave Man United, you kind of go down, and that's the truth. You know, it's not a harsh thing to say. You know, again, Vic says still be respectful and appreciate what they've done. But it's one of them. You know, it's just the times, isn't it? Sadly, that's what happens. You leave and you go to. I mean, listen, I can't think of one player that's left that's gone on to a bigger club. So that, do you know what I mean? I mean, somebody else might correct me, or somebody might have a different opinion, but that's how it is. And I genuinely feel that has been some of the problem this year, is that it's been kind of like, you know, there's a lot of players that say we want Champions League, and it's brilliant, but then there's some that stay quiet, and you think it could be those players that are like, you know, I don't know, struggling with it, so to speak. Certainly begs the question as to why, when we've said, oh, why isn't such a player played? Maybe that's why, you know, we don't know, do it? But there's certain things that make me think, because there's sort of the playing side, isn't there? And there's the mistakes, and there's the quality, and then there's the flip side, which is what we're talking about now. Yeah, Alex, yeah, that's a fair point, actually. Didn't even think, she never even entered my mind, but that's one player out of all the ones that have left in sort of 2.5, or if we include summer, 3 years, that'll be one player out of God knows how many have left. overall. So yeah, but that's my take on it anyway. We've got to now just get the quality and say just be ruthless, cruel to be kind, so to speak.
See, I'm going to flip this on its head though, because it's like, I know what you mean, cruel to be kind. We need a little bit of a clear out and everything. But it just doesn't sit right with me. Like, you know, let's be fair. I'm not Katie's. For example, Katie Zellum. I'm not her biggest fan, man. I'll hold my hands up there. And you know what I mean? There's all debate about whether she should be captain or not. I get the debate. I get all that. What I don't get is people questioning the hunger or the desire. You think somebody is from the Manchester United Academy, she's a local Manchester girl, and to say people don't care, don't have the desire, you know, to play for Manchester United. I don't think that's true in Katie Zellum's case. Do you know what I mean? And it's all right saying you need to ship some of these out. I think we have to because of the global pandemic. I think we have to sell to buy in, because I'm gonna fucking be truthful to everybody here. I don't think there's money. The money's there. United have been hit hard by this pandemic. You know. I know women's football. I know the wages and the fees for women footballers is a lot less than on the men's. The men's are out of this world. But let's be fair. I think we need to sell to bring in. You know, but that doesn't mean that we get rid of a core of players that have done as well as the Championship straight away. You know, might go, ship them out. You know, we've had a poor since the winter break. We've been poor. Let's be fair. We've been really, really poor, and that's not just the OG-21. That's the whole squad.
No,
has been poor.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? As a collective, they've been poor. Yeah. You know, it's the OG-21. You can't just go, oh, it's Zellum's fault.
No.
I look at it, and like my point on that Twitter when we had a message in our group, like between myself, you, and Natalie and John, is it? I've noticed this. Chris Jansen's said it all season, or most season. Mary Earp said it this season. Katie Zellum, it seems to be following on from the men's, where the core British players get it absolutely thrown at them. You know, and you know, this happened to McTominay, this happened to Shaw, it's happened to Maguire, it's happened to Rashford, it's happened to Greenwood this season. And it's a lot of the foreign-based fans, and I'm sorry, I know we've got a lot of foreign fans, and it's also, I will include this, a couple of fans that live in this country, you know what I mean, that seems to think, get their heads, they're in cloud cuckoo land, that think we're going to sign all these great superstars, we're going to bring all these great superstars in. My point is, Manchester United don't very, very rarely buy world-class players. We make world-class players. Ronaldo, when he came, Cristiano wasn't world-class. People were labelling him a one-trick pony for nearly 2 seasons. You know, with his step-overs, we made him world-class. Wayne Rooney had the potential of being an absolute worldie of a player. He became a worldie of a player at Manchester United. We didn't buy him in as a worldie. Ruud van Nistelrooy, his great goal-scoring rate at PSV, came to Manchester United, became that world-class striker. You know, what I'm getting at, though, I think some people think we're going to be like the Harlem Globetrotters, and we're going to bring this player, that player, this player from over here. We're going to be we're going to be the next Galacticos. You know, let's be fair. When Real Madrid had the Galacticos, they weren't fucking naff all. That's with Beckham, Figo, Ronaldo, Raul, Zidane, all these great players. They won 1 La Liga title in that time, maybe 2. They didn't win a Champions League. Beckham didn't win a European Cup at Real Madrid. You know,
the thing is,
my point is, though, you know, when you look at people like Zellum, you always need them core players, and whether they're good enough to start week in, week out is another question. You know what I mean? But you think of when Manchester United have always had a decent core players that maybe don't start every week, but they come in as a squad rotational player. They're coming off the bench as a game changer. You think you like see Nicky Butt. Nicky Butt was a fucking brilliant footballer. But you look around in front of him, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes, 2 of arguably Manchester United's greatest ever midfield players, but he's always a decent backup. You know, he was relied upon. You look at people like John O'Shea's, weren't world-class footballers, but did a job when it was expected of them. You could look at Darren Fletcher was another one. Darren Fletcher was more appreciated towards the end of his Manchester United career than he was during the start and the middle of it. You know what I mean? Fletcher was a big game player. And I'm just saying now, there is some of these core players, as much as people might want rid of them, but sometimes can stand you in good stead going forward because you know that they'll be good squad players. They work hard for the team. And for me, I think, as again, hold my hands up, I am not her biggest fan. You know, me and you had discussion about Katie Zellum for a number of years, but I think since she's had that captaincy, it's way down too heavy on her. I think take it away from her and just let her play her football. Possibly. I think you'll see a much better player. Much better player. Do I think she should be sold or something? Fuck no. You can't just keep on going, get rid of these British players, get rid of this OG21 bollocks. Some of them will stand you in good stead when it comes. It's a big squad game.
Do you know what, though? On the OG21, and I'll clarify this just in case, because I see what you're saying. I really do. What I'm saying is it's not all of them, because, listen, at the end of the day, I think that come 5-6 years' time, Tooney will still be here, Leah will still be here, hopefully LJ, you know, Hanson, Millie Turner from sort of the originals. I'm not saying get rid of the lot, but my point is that certain ones I feel personally are not up to scratch. Like I say, without naming names, because we have had conversations, haven't we? And other people have, like, you know, you name drop Zellum there, for example. Now, I'm not saying, you know, get rid. I'm not, like I say, I'm not chucking out names, but there does become a time when some, not all, of the OG21 will not be good enough. And like I say, some might make great squad players. That's absolutely fine, you know, no problem with that. But my thing was, like, I'm not, listen, I love as much as you do and everybody else, the OG21, absolutely, every single one of them. Doesn't matter whether you're fourth choice, you know, centre back or whatever we had at the time, you know, everybody from that squad is loved. And I think for me, it will become a time over the next few years where slowly they will leave. And listen, nothing killed, I know probably Natalie more than me, but Amy Palmer leaving, because I thought, you know what, and, you know, Nat talks about salmon. And I think sometimes decisions are made based on the need there and then, and some are based on quality. And I think for me, listen, like I say, you know, I'm not saying we need to get rid of, you know, this, and this, and they have to be OG21. Because listen, I think there's players in that squad that aren't OG21 that need to go. So, you know, it's not, like I say, just to clarify, because I know that's not what you were saying, but I get where you're coming from. But just to clarify for viewers, you know, OG21, brilliant. As many as we can take, I'd love to take them. But like I say, it's got to be right. It's got to be the quality, because it can't be done on sentiment. And like I say, you know, I'm fully expecting even Amy Turner. I know I didn't drop her name in there before, but, you know, there might become a point where we can get a world-class centre-half and Amy would be more than capable quality backup, you know, let's say 3 or 4 years down the line, for an example. But like I say, I fully expect, you know, Amy, Tooney, Leah, like I say, you know, hopefully LJ as well, Millie, you know, the likes of the OG21 that will be sticking around for years, which would be great. Yeah, just looking at comments now, is Zellum going to accept losing the captaincy and squad status? It'd be interesting, won't it?
Well, I'm not saying make her lose the captaincy, but I think...
No, I know what you mean. You think it's weighing heavy on her at a big club.
Listen, you know, I think an armband's an armband at the end of the day. You know, I've made that point earlier. Anyone United football pitch, but
yeah.
But my point as well earlier on was people are saying about leaders, this person should be captain, but they're all as guilty as each other. All their heads are dipped, mate.
Yeah, I don't care. That's why I was saying. That's why we talked about all
that squad that has been playing over the last, well, since the winter break, all their heads have gone.
Last 4 or 5 months, collectively.
Collectively, all the heads have gone, mate. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And people might say, "Well, this person's a better captain," but for me, that very same person is still guilty of dropping their heads. You know, they're still guilty of not picking that team up by the scruff of the neck and driving forward. Yes, it's hard. It's hard as a player, as a single player in a team game to grab your team by the scruff of the neck. But I don't see people going around cheating everybody up. You know what I mean? You know.
Do you know what though? Can I ask you something? Because this will be interesting, right? We talk about captaincy, don't we? And we talk about, obviously. I mean, I'm saying it's different at Man United. It's a huge club. Do you think she's too young? And I know people say, well, hang on, she's 25. But look at it on the flip side, is that 25, she spent how long? Was it 2 years at Juventus? 1 year even, I think it was actually. It should have been 2 years, and we brought her back. So one year in a Tin Pot League. And then she was at Liverpool when she was really young for, I think, 4 years. So in terms of, I mean, 25 for me in football isn't old. Whereas you look at somebody with more experience that's sort of been there and done the lot in Amy Turner, who is, a little bit older. Do you think that maybe having a captaincy at a younger age is also maybe a factor? Because obviously, I mean, again, Amy Turner's experience. I mean, listen, years ago, she was, England, wasn't she? And Katie's not really had the international caps. I mean, Amy's only got a few. I think she got 3 or 4, but she was involved. Do you know, like at that higher level, and with age comes experience and all. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you think maybe as well the age thing, as well as the size of the club and the job in hand, plus a lack of leadership? I mean, Vix is saying she can't think of young captains other than Grealish. It's interesting, isn't it? Do you think maybe that age plays a part as well as experience? Or
I think so, but I think there's something to that now. You mentioned it, but there's you look at someone like Gigi Donnarumma at AC Milan. I don't think he's the captain regularly, but he's captain that side. And how old is he? He's less than 20. He's been around for years.
21, 20.
But yeah, he's 21. But different players take it. I think different players take it in different ways. And I think there's different leaders on the field. I think some accept responsibility and they run with it, and some it becomes a burden. And for me, I think it's become a burden for Katie Zam. I think it's affected her performances. Listen, I probably was wrong in saying I'm not a biggest fan, because I love the teammate. But what I'm trying to get is what I'm saying I'm not a biggest fan is that it's probably a little bit harsh, you know what I mean? Because I do want to see her do well, but and the fact that I'm sticking up for her, and I don't want to see her turfed out because Joe Blogs from down the East Lancs is saying turf her out, or Auntie Sally from fucking Eccles is saying she got to go. You know what I'm saying? But I want her to prove me wrong. You know what I mean? I want her to go around and say, "Listen, you gobby little shit. I took ownership now. I've come out and I've given you the best that I can give you. You know what I mean? Whether I'm captain or not, I belong in this team." And I just want it's more of a moan, because when I see that the British players always constantly get attacked on Twitter, it's like they're not good enough. Mary Earp's not good enough. Bring this keeper in. Bring that keeper in. I look at it and I think, fucking, are you not unrealistic? Yes, fair enough, mate. We all want the best players in the world play for Manchester United or whatever clubs we support. But there has to be a little bit of realism in there, We ain't going to fucking change the whole squad. Do you know what I mean? It'll be done bit by bit. And I get people who've got their favourite targets from wherever it may be, for the summer's transfer window. But like I keep banging on about, Casey Stoney knows 6 months to a year in advance who she's bringing in.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Somebody might say, I can't remember which German side it was, assigned this sort of players. Why aren't United doing this? Well, because maybe it's not part of Casey Stoney's plans, lad, or lasses. It's because she's got her targets in mind, and United are probably working on them deals. Because the good thing about in terms for Casey is that we seem to be working out deals a little bit quicker than we do for Ollie. For Ollie, it'll be drag on all fucking summer again, and then last minute it'll be like, "Oh, make do with them, Ollie lad."
Yeah,
But whereas Casey, at least it seems to be that we're getting him in quickly, a little bit quicker. I think we just need to trust her a bit more, and I see all this, it's Casey's fault, this is Casey's fault, that. She's trusting these too much, she's trusting that too much. Sometimes when you've got a depleted injury squad, you've got to show faith in the players that you've got available to you. You know what I mean? You can't just go, she's going in the summer, I don't care, No, you can't belittle your players. You've got to get behind them. And I just hope, And Katie's a great person, by the way, and I love her family, man. I love her dad, especially, man. He's a top fucking man. I just want them to turn around and go, "You're a gobby little twat, Ben." I look at my daughter playing out on there, Manchester United, in that fucking first 11. You know what I mean? For me, she's not quite first 11 week in, week out. For me, she's a squad player, and I think you need them type of players in the squad as well. Yes, we do. Yes, we do it to ship some out, to bring some in, I feel. But let's be realistic. I don't think she's going to be one of them that will get shipped out, And I just want, maybe it's just me being an absolute fucking idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. But I just want You know, and I like it. I like nothing more than a player to turn around and said, "I fucking told you so. I told you I belong here." And that's the way Darren Fletcher did it. Darren Fletcher was absolutely ridiculed at the start and in the middle of his Man United career. Oh, he's not good enough. He's just Fergie's favourite son. Blah 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 blah. But when we lost Darren Fletcher to that illness, mate, we fucking lost a big time player. When he got suspended for the Champions League final, we lost a big fucking player. You know, sometimes you don't realise how good someone is until you've lost them. And I just think that's maybe the mistake we could make with Zellum. You know what I mean? If we was to move it on, and then I don't know, we get another injury crisis, and the people we bought in have not worked out, and it's not going as good. And you go, "Oh, wish I had Katie Zellum still here." You know, it's just, I don't know, mate. I'm just probably just rambling on for the sake of
I get what you're saying. You love to be proved wrong, but I think it's one of them. You know, again, I'm looking down to comments like, leadership. Yes, collectively, but leadership. I mean, I think it was further up. John said about, Amy T was vice captain last year. Why wasn't she made captain? I did say that myself, regardless of, like I say, who how they play. I think, and again, it's a good point above that comment by Vic. She mentioned about it puts pressure to start her when she is. And sometimes, I do feel, I know others have said it, that she does get put in there over Hayley just because she's captain, which is wrong. It's like you'd love to prove wrong, not a problem with that. But in terms of we're trying not to mash too many topics into one, but like for me, Amy captain, like I talked about before, it's that experience, isn't it? She's 5 years older than Zellum for the start. She's been there for England. She's done it. And yeah, I don't know. It's one of them. But leadership in general, like you say, it does require everyone. But for me, a captain, and I said this in the group, isn't it? You can be loud and gobby, but it doesn't make you a captain. It doesn't make you a leader, And I'm not saying that she isn't, but that, sometimes you've got to be careful with what you want from a captain. I think people have different views. And I think, like you said, there's been comments today saying, oh, doesn't care. It's not that she doesn't care. It's maybe that she's not of that captain mold or build, or maybe she is, but not at our level. And maybe it is weighing heavy. I talked about her age and, because let's not forget Liverpool, like I said, she was young. She's not being a captain. So it's like, Casey's obviously seen something to make a captain over Amy, and she's got her reasons. That's that. But for me, you kind of see where I'm coming from. It's an interesting discussion, isn't it? And I know John was quite keen to go into this in more detail. So obviously I'm cautious of not nicking his content.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm trying to ramble on so much about it. But yeah.
No, I know, but it's a good topic just whilst we're on it. But again, saying there, another one from Vic, this window will tell you a lot about where we're heading over 3 years. I think it will. I think this season, if it's been good for one thing, it's been good for learning. We've had to deal with so many injuries. We've had to deal with maybe Casey thinking that she can trust players and maybe now she can't. She maybe realises that, we do need competition for places more so, and to carry maybe a bigger squad. We might need, I think we've got 23 now. We might need 25 players, say, next year, or 24.
So this is my good point now about squad size. Remember when was at Bournemouth? I think I banged about this last week or the week before. And we looked at the that Conti Cup semi. Mm-hmm. We looked at the team sheet. Our team with Yea Little and Arsenal was fucking massive. You look at Chelsea squad, fucking massive.
Yeah.
And the problem, like I said, the problem that we have that I think every other team, by maybe your Chelseas and your Cities, are going to have because they're owned by fucking sugar daddies, is that the pandemic has fucking caused havoc. Finances. I'd love a big squad like that. If we get away with it, I'd maybe loan a couple instead of selling a couple out. But possibly. I think we're going to have to sell in to bring in. And I'm just worried about where our squad depth's going to come if we have to sell to buy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the thing is, though, the trouble with loans is, one, is it's getting, if you're talking about money and saving money, loaning out doesn't necessarily solve it because championship clubs don't pay the wage. So then you're looking at WSL. For example, West Ham are probably likely, and I don't know this, but they're likely to be paying some of Rambo's wages, maybe half, maybe all. But then again, there lots on free transfers. I think the costs are in the wages and sort of the bonuses and their agent fees. So it's difficult because obviously I know you've highlighted the men saying, you know, it drags on and the money. I think it's hard to compare because it's completely different. In terms of money, it's completely different, isn't it? But I think, you know, in terms of that, you know, if we do ship out, we've always gone for the model of young potential, haven't we? You know, we saw it with Ivana. We've got it with Alessia. I put on Twitter yesterday about fancying that Sandy Baltimore, who's at PSG, that was French and touring under new one yesterday. You know, there's been people I've mentioned, and there's, you know, it comes down to obviously, like I say, some fees, yes, for those in the contracts, agent fees for those that are free. And I think it's the model that we're going with, and it's a model which, you know, I fully back. It's great, but I think that's what we're gonna, you know, have to do come summer, is that, like you said, not go out and buy these superstars just because buddy Derek from 10 miles down the road wants them. Do you know what I mean? It's a progression each year. And it's got to be right. There's no point in getting in for getting in's sake. It's got to be young, hungry players with potential. Jane and Abby thinks, yeah, I mean, I think Abby out of contract maybe. I think she signed a 2-year deal last year. So that'd be, well, at the end of a loan, a contract to be up. So that's that. Jane's got another year. So whether somebody buys her, if she does go, be one of them. But yeah, it's one of them really. It's like, you know, we talk about it and we talk about summer and the youngsters there, you know, again, other comments about youngsters, and it's the way we need to go, and it's the right way, rather than just chucking money at randoms that may not work out. I mean, you've seen other clubs, you know, if we give Chelsea an example, Sam Kerr last year struggled. Pernilla Harder this season has not produced the levels that she has done previously in her career. So, you know, for me, you can go out and buy top foreign talent and they may be bobbins for a year or two. You know, Miedemar in her first season, maybe her first 2 seasons from memory, struggled. So it's one of them. And I think sometimes you can't always afford to go and give it a year. I mean, listen, some come in and hit the ground running. You know, they really do, which is fine. But it's going to be interesting summer. And like I say, you know, it's going to be one of them ones, like you say, with no money. But if we can get young, hungry players with potential and still keep the quality there to challenge people that are in the first 11 for their spot, then, you know, let's bring it on. But this is why, for me, this is why I've repeatedly said summer's huge, because it's huge not just in terms of where we do save money, like you say, and ship people out. It's huge in terms of who comes in. And like I say, you know, lessons I'd like to think would have been learnt this year from injuries, from mistakes, whether it's been lineups, tactics, certain players, game management. And like you say, again, that word trusted, you know, she might have thought, well, you know, I can trust this player. And then she might have realised now that actually, well, you know what, I can't, and they need replacing. So I think, you know, trying to put a positive spin again on this season, which can be, you know, far-fetched sometimes and difficult. Like I say, after a bad run, I think, you know, there's bits where come summer, it should, hopefully for next year now, stand us in a little bit better stead.
I don't want to get too bogged down in transfer talk because I fucking hate transfer talk. But do you think we'll stick with that sort of younger, that approach of getting in younger, hungrier players, or do we need a couple of experienced heads? Because maybe that's what this is crying out for. Why we've been lacking. Winter break, maybe we need a couple of experienced heads, just to keep a couple of key positions to shore us up a little bit.
Possibly.
What do you think?
I mean, it's one of them where, again, it's like it's opinion, isn't it? Some people define experiences by the games, and some people define experience by age, assuming that they've played a load of games. Obviously, usually they have, barring injuries. I think, you know, you look at ages. I mean, you know, there's young players in there that have played a lot of games, granted, but there's also, I'd say there's probably, if you broke it down out of the squad list, I'd say there's probably quite a few that you won't class as young. I mean, you look, you know, let's say Maria Thorisdottir, you know, arrived in January. You know, she's not old, she's not young, she's kind of, you know, simmering in the middle. You know, that'd be experience and in the league. You know, you've got Mary, you've got Lucy Stan. Haley's played in the league since she was like 18, 19. You've got Amy Turner. You know, Jane Ross has been around in the WSL for sort of 4 or 5 years. You know, Kirsty Smith's of the sort of older 20s, shall we say. So it's one of them where, you know, we've got young players, but in terms of the balance, I think the balance isn't too bad. You know, for me, I don't know. I think it's more experience / quality that maybe the thing to improve on, but I fully agree where it does need a blend of youth and experience. And I do, my view anyway, I feel we've got that, whether it's more in terms of better quality experience, if that makes sense, then possibly, level up. Yeah, pretty much what I mean. Like experience of better quality, for example. I think that's the easiest way to phrase it to get my point across. But yeah, blend of youth and experience. To answer your question, do I think that's the approach we'll continue to take? Yes, we might see possibly we saw it in season 1, didn't we, when we brought in Abby and Mary. It was like the experience. And last summer we brought in who did we bring in last summer? Summer just gone even. Lucy Stan, that was it. That's what I was thinking. I've brought in Lucy Stan for the experience for like the midfield, because it's quite a young midfield. So I think we might see one older head, so to speak, and then a few youngsters, but it just needs to be experience in terms of games and the quality that they bring, really, for me.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I just think it'll be like some people say. I think it's going to be a mix. I think I think we'll probably go 60-40, maybe 70-30 towards the younger side, and then toward in terms of ratio between older and younger players. I do think we will stick with that mold of bringing younger talent.
Yeah.
As I said before, as I said earlier on in the show, like we make star players, we make players that are superstars, and Lauren James is going to be a fucking superstar. In the future, she's going to be a world class player. We can see that. You know what I mean? I want to just nothing more than seeing someone that's that your clubs help nurture to become a world class talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when they come through the ranks. You might, if Tooney goes on and be an absolute world beater. I
think that's the perfect example, isn't it?
Exactly, that's your perfect example. Academy product. That's probably where I harp on a little bit about Manchester United. We are a team. We're a football club that prides ourselves on giving not only our academy talent a chance, but we do give local talent a chance. We do give British players a chance. It is a football club in England after all. And as much, and I love as much as the next person bringing a world class player or bring this player in from there. But I tell you now, as a Manchester United fan, nothing pleases me more than seeing a talent that we've either bought, which is British, or that we've plucked out of our academy to go on to be a world-class player or a player of world-class ilk, a player that's gone on to do well for us and for their countries, because I know a lot of players love to play for their countries. Like they see it's the pinnacle of their careers, There's nothing I love more, you know what I mean? And I just, and I love, and there's nothing that I love also, on the flip side, there's nothing I love more than seeing some foreign person I've never even heard of and then making them a world-class talent. So, I just think it'll be, again, like you said, players that have come in a little bit inexperienced, a little bit younger, fresher legs and everything, with a couple of wise heads in there, and I think that's probably the way Casey's going to go again. So what are we saying about the FA Cup anyway? Are we going to go on a cut run, Matt? Because I want you to bring some positivity into my life now.
Listen,
are we going to go on a cut run?
It's usually constructive criticism / positivity, because I don't like going on negative rants, but I think stuff needs saying. In terms of FA Cup, we've got the winners of. Oh, hang on, let me think. It was Sunderland and Burnley. I think did
play tomorrow, didn't they?
Is it tomorrow? I knew it was sometime this weekend. So we've got the winners of that away. Will we beat them? Yes. I'd love to see. Obviously there's these daft rules where we can't bring in loads of devs, but I think in terms of changes, let's chuck Fran Bentley in the goal. Let's bring in Tara Bourne. Let's play Carrie Jones. Let's give Jane Ross minutes and anybody else that needs minutes. Changes, yes. Should beat them, yes. Next round, 18th of May. As long as you don't fix the draw and we end up with City at LSV again. As per. But no, I think You know what I'm saying, though, don't you? You know,
I know what you're saying, mate. Yeah.
Then it usually ends up fixed as like City versus Chelsea in the semi-final, because they always do that just to get a lower team to the final. But no, I think, yeah, cup run. I think, you know, we've no reason not to focus on it now. For me, you know, Champions League's gone, sadly, and I said this, you know, last week. But I think, you know, let's put all our energy now into these next 2 rounds. We really should. There's no reason not to. You know, players will be coming back from injury. The only worry I have with that and them coming back is that if we are, you know, I've been to Burnley's ground, and it's a bit of a tip, shall we say. It's not the sort of game where Toby Neath comes back and you want to chuck her out there. So even still, you know, we've got to be going all guns blazing for the cup. You know, let's get this 4th round win away at wherever we end up. 5th round, whoever we draw, let's beat them, and then I think come August or whenever it starts up again, September, you know, again, there's no reason, because it'll be early on in the season. So it's not like when it resumes that we'll be fighting for something, because seasons and titles aren't won in sort of August, September, October, are they? So again, there's no reason why we cannot go all guns blazing at the start of next season in the cup and just see where it takes us. We'll have some new signings in summer. So yeah, there's no reason for me. This is a good shot now, a good opportunity to you know, go and get the best time. But yeah, that half-time pot noodle. You know what? It was good because me and Gareth went to Burnley last season. Yeah, last season. It was great. About end of Jan, I think it was, FA Cup. And it was brilliant. Nice little ground, but the pitch is a bit... Pitch is diagonal, like slopes towards you. So rather than sloping all, it slopes kind of... So yeah, but no, like nice little ground, Burnley. The food on offer, I had pie and peas. Gareth went for the pot noodle, but we can't get in, so it kind of kills it. But yeah, no, I think we've got to go all in for the cup, haven't we? Because at the minute, like I say, it's a perfect chance, because there should be no distractions this season and next. Really, it's not like we need to be careful because we're going for a league or something like that, you know. So bring on a cup run for me. It'd just be nice, wouldn't it, to end the season with 2 wins in the FA Cup.
Exactly. To be fair, an FA Cup runners, it's the FA Cup. It's the most famous cup competition in the world. You know, I'd love us to go out and win an FA Cup. And as you said, like, leagues ain't won in August, September, October time, are they? So it's pressure's off. Hopefully get through the next 2 rounds, and then, you know, I believe, is it just the 2 rounds we played before the end of the season? Then is it?
Yeah, so we've got obviously the 4th round, which is when all the WSL and Championship clubs come in, which is next Sunday, the 18th. And then obviously the 18th of May is when the 5th round is, and then it stops. So we've got hang on, I forgot. We've got Everton on the 9th. And then after that is the FA Cup. I'm sat here saying the 18th. I swear that's like, I've checked my calendar now. I swear that's like midweek, you know. Yeah, so it'll be the 16th. Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Well, close enough, like, close enough.
Yeah, no, listen, I know it's around then. So yeah, so Everton, and then literally the week after is the FA Cup. So I'd say get the job done at Burnley or Sunderland, wherever we end up. Here he is. We've just talked about Gareth, 8 teams to choose. The 16th, pal. So the 16th, I knew he'd correct me, but I'd already corrected myself because I had calendar. So the 16th it is. So it's the following weekend from the season ending, basically, is when we will finish up. So yeah, absolutely, you know, all guns blazing. Let's end the season half decently.
And then, like Vic said, fans will be back for the final too. So
yeah,
Wembley. I know this season day at Wembley would be all right, wouldn't it?
It's wishful thinking, isn't it? But you never know.
You never know. We can dream. That's what us football fans can do, I suppose, is dream.
Yeah, get the shorts out and sit on the row, the way thing, the row, whatever you want to call it. That row of bars. We'll just crawl up. With England, there was me, Nat, Dave Pritt, and Sue when we were watching England at Wembley, and honestly, it was class. We got in the little box, whatever it's called, box to box or box world or something. Little bar with live music. Honestly, lad, it was class. So we need a bit of that. Hang the flags around the upper floor bit. Honestly, that will look kitted out. That will look class, mate. We'll take it over. We can dream, can't we? We'll sit here and dream now.
Dream, mate. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But
that's it, mate. We'll set off at 8 a.m. for a 5:30 kickoff. We'll do a Fran.
Even a Fran, yeah, I was about to say, do a Fran.
Early to Charlton away, get there at breakfast time. But now we'll set off at 8, get there for midday. Be great.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Just looking forward to tomorrow's game now, because obviously the men are in action tomorrow. It's Tottenham Hotspur. Big game. Ollie v Jose, Jose v Ollie, whichever way round you want. It's a massive game for Man United now. Liverpool won today, obviously. Chelsea's just gone and twatted Palace. A win of stand is a good stead for cementing second place. How do you think that's going to go tomorrow? Just really briefly.
Well, hopefully not as disastrous as the other one, because wasn't it 6-1 at the start of the season? So I'm hoping, obviously, avoid a disastrous repeat there. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Obviously, City dropped points. I mean, they're still absolutely flying. But, you know, a win tomorrow. We're already 4 points ahead of Leicester. So I think a win tomorrow. They've got to play West Ham. We're doing all right. You know, West Ham are up there, aren't they? So that's going to be interesting. That could, I mean, the ideal thing for us would be West Ham and Leicester playing out a draw. And if we can get the win against Tottenham, you know, obviously it's away, but you know, we're going to have to make up for that absolute shit show last time. And see where it takes us. But yeah, I think a win puts decent daylight, doesn't it, between sort of second and third. And just like I say, it piles on a little bit more pressure, you know, on Leicester. But I think Leicester actually kick off before us anyway. So to be fair, by the time we kick off, we'll have known that result anyway. But yeah, it's just one of them. You know, it's got to get it done. We can cement second. Then that's, you know, that's that, isn't it? Really, isn't it? I mean, there's not too much you can say. I don't know if it's an achievement or not, but I suppose, you know, looking back, been difficult, hasn't it, in terms of like just everything, no fans, injuries, no money spent. Just you could be out all day, couldn't you? People saying, oh, you know, get rid of the manager, and there's just been so many different things out there this season that I just think for me, just get second done now and be done with it. And again, similar to the women, just crack on next season. You know, I think there's a lot of people in there all calling 1 minute for Ollie's head, and then, you know, the next minute love him to bits, and it's just just one of them where it's comedy every week in it from fans. But I think, yeah, let's go and atone for the, like I say, the absolute shambolic performance at Old Trafford when it was 6-1, and go and get the job done. I mean, listen, it won't be too easy, because that comment there parks the bus, but listen, there's ways of beating Spurs. They've not been brilliant this season. Tottenham, have they? They seem to have dropped off. I think they're down now about 6th or 7th roughly in the league. Not really a Tottenham performance that you'd expect. So yeah, I don't see why, you know, we can't go there and give it a real good go.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it if Ollie got one over on Jose again. You know, just for old time's sake.
Yeah.
I just think, like, United, strong finish the season, cement that second place. Some people are getting a little bit giddy on social media because City dropped points, and you know, could end up being 8 points behind them and blah blah blah. But I can't see City dropping 8 points. I can't see City dropping all them points.
No, they won't.
From now to the end of the season. They'll be the best team in the fucking land.
Good seeing them lose, though, isn't it?
Yes. Well, no, because some crap called Mark Goldbridge was there fucking celebrating the Leeds United goal, mate. I wanted to fucking curl up and die. Fuck me. That's why I detest that fucking guy. You know what I mean? He's there giving it all the fucking full beans, like he's just scored in the fucking FA Cup final. You know, it's just fucking it's United, mate. What the fuck are you doing? Sit down. Shut the fuck up, you dickhead.
That's what I'm saying. Just enjoy him losing.
Oh, he's all right. Yeah. He's a voice for the fans. Is he fucking bollocks? He's a
but
fucking
it's one of them,
idiot.
you don't celebrate Leeds, you just celebrate the loss.
Fucking hate Leeds. You know what I mean? And any true United fan will know that fucking Leeds United, even for me, are a bigger rival than Manchester fucking City are. Leeds are a horrible, dirty, scummy side. You know, fucking, and I'm getting this guy that's supposed to be the fucking voice. Fans fucking celebrating Leeds United goal, like he's just fucking scored for me in the final. What a fucking prick.
But it's funny because obviously that Leeds rivalry goes back years, doesn't it? Like 70s mainly. 60s, 70s. And like you say, he's celebrating a rivalry that, you know, it's bigger with Leeds, like you say, based on how far it dates back than it is City. Because City were like, what, 2nd, 3rd, 4th division back then. So it is laughable. But for me, you enjoy seeing them lose, don't you? Like you say, you don't go out.
I mean, like City, losing. I hate City. People are going, oh, what you mean you don't hate City? My order of hatred is Liverpool, Leeds, and then City.
Yeah.
I fucking cannot stand any of them. But it just makes me laugh when I sit there and everyone's preaching me this fucking guy's the, you know, he's the face, he's got a massive YouTube channel, he's the fucking voice of Man United fans. He's cringeworthy. Seeing him fucking celebrating Leeds United goal, mate, I wanted to fucking die. I tell you now, like, football is dead to me. I tell you, with some fucking so-called Man United fans there celebrating a fucking Leeds United goal like he's just scored for Leeds United in the Champions League final or something. It's fucking disgraceful, mate. He actually out of his fucking chair, giving it the full fucking beans. I'm like, fucking sit down, you absolute tosser. Yes, I know he works for different football channels and he works for this and that, mate. But, mate, if Leeds scored against fucking City, I'll be sitting there going, Leeds have fucking scored. Whoopee, next.
But that's what I'm saying, though, innit? Like, you don't celebrate. I mean, listen, I don't watch the guy because I'm like you, I can't abide. But it's like you say, you just think, mint, they've scored, they've beaten, that's it. But it's like you say, you don't celebrate it, but it is just good seeing them lose. But yeah, it's funny, like I say, they're hated seeing. Oh, can't even talk about that Scouse as one. Villa had one job and they cocked it up.
Helping out Villa. Still couldn't fucking do it.
No, but anyway.
What we'll say score predictions tomorrow, anyway, Matt?
2-1 win.
2-1 win. I'm going to go for a 1-0 because I know that, a comment before, they were saying that Jose will park the bus. I reckon he's going to park the bus. Big fucking. In fact, he's not going to park the bus. He's going to fucking park the old Titanic. He's going to fucking raise it from the depths of the fucking ocean and park that right in front of us. You know, he's struggling big time this season with that Tottenham side. I tell you now, you know, we all lamented what fucking Pochettino were doing, but I think Mourinho was doing a shocking job. Has he lost a little bit of his magic? Now I fucking said that. You watch him go and turn an absolute fucking masterclass tomorrow.
Like the 6-1. No, it wasn't even funny.
You know.
It's one of them, though. I think ego ruins it. Like, you know, there's times when you think genius, but there's times when you think, you know, ego kills it for him. And I think his success he got early on with Chelsea worked, but now football's changed. He's not changed with the times. And like I say, it's kind of my way and I'm not going to deviate. And then it's the same old, isn't it? You know, players are being blamed now, aren't they? Hang out to dry. Oh, it's Bale's fault. Oh, it's whoever's fault. Oh, it's his fault. It's never, look at me, it's my fault, what I could have done better. And that's his issue. Like I say, it's like a show, isn't it? Like the show. And we're seeing it, you know, we're seeing it at ours eventually. You know, like I say, some of the stuff is good and is genius and it's okay, but there's a lot now where it's not moved with the times. And like I say, you know, you criticise the players at United, you criticising the Tottenham ones. His second reign at Chelsea wasn't as good as his first one. You know, criticising people there. And, you know what, I agree there. You know, needs to go and be a pundit. I think as a pundit, it'd be interesting, you know, and I'd love to see that because his insight and his knowledge and things is brilliant. But you know, it's kind of the same old, isn't it? And then you lose the dressing room and there goes your job. But yeah, hey-ho. But no, I do. I think, like I say, 2-1 win. Probably park the bus. Probably look to be some sort of blame afterwards, no doubt. It'll be somebody's fault. And that's what we'll get tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I hope so. But I'm just going to go for 1-0 because I think it's a bit tight. I think Bruno for the penalty spot in the dying minutes of the game will do me lovely. And he'd go fucking celebrate in front of Mourinho. That'll be nice. You know,
one of them.
Nice for me.
Can do a Libby Smith.
Oh yeah, good do, yeah.
You slide in front of Jose like that.
Oh, good do, Anyway, you know, a couple of weeks back, just to finish off on this, I asked you who's going to be the up and coming player for the English national team that's going to throw us a surprise. Basically, your prediction was sort of
right.
Yeah, it's sort of become reality a lot sooner than what it seemed to be there, mate. Fair play to you on that one.
No, that was good, wasn't it? No, to be fair, listen, I'm not going to start sitting here, you know, gassing myself up. But no, I think no, it was deserved, and you could see it coming. I think, you know, since Liverpool, I mean, she carried Liverpool when she was in a final season there, absolutely carried that team. And yeah, you know, she got a call up, like I said she would be the next player to call up. She came on yesterday. And yeah, it's one of them. It's difficult, one, to come into a friendly, and two, when the team was absolutely bobbins. Well, listen, you know, it's a debut. She's got that out the way now. It'd be good for her confidence. It'd be good overall. And I tweeted yesterday about we needed to make changes. And like I said, you know, on the show a few weeks back, she's one to the future and one to look out for. And, you know, again, it's good to see so many of these younger players coming through. But what we want to see now is we want to see them given a chance. You know, it's great that so many are coming through, but where's the chances? You know, there was about 4 or 5 players yesterday that were still playing that shouldn't have been on the pitch. You know, they shouldn't have started, let alone some of them finishing it for me. But, you know, yeah, big clear out. That's it. You know, I've always talked about in sort of the last 6 months or so, roughly, that this Lioness team has got so much potential in terms of the new players coming in and the younger players. And I think with the right, I mean, listen, obviously it's only a temporary sort of manager, isn't it? You know, with the right person willing to make changes and, you know, give these younger players a go, then that team can go places. But until it happens, we're stuck in the same old defensive struggles and poor performances. I mean, it was France's B team yesterday, for God's sake.
But, really France's B team, mate. I mean, when I looked at it, I thought that must be France's first team, because I didn't watch a game. You know me, at national football balls the pants of me. I didn't realise that was France's B team. I went, that must be a decent French side then, you know.
Yeah.
How much I know about football, mate.
You know what, Ed, nightmares me, because I remember back in, it was either 2016 or 2017, and England played France. It was at Doncaster, so bearing in mind it was a midweek as well. Winter, freezing, raining, went all the way to Doncaster for a 0-0, and it was abysmal, mate. It was dreadful. It was just so boring. So I saw it yesterday, and it was 0-0 for a while, and I thought, God, this it was like a flashback. Like I say, all that way to Donny, and it was like, say, cold, wet, dark, midweek, rushed from work and everything. It was just a letdown. But yesterday we just got a battering, didn't we, by the B team.
And when you're next at Leicester, buddy?
Ooh, I don't know. I think no, I don't know, because obviously the conversation doesn't start this far early, but they have got an FA Cup game against Liverpool. So conversations have been had, but obviously you don't kind of find out. The thing is, what people, and I'll give a little bit of insight here because people might want to know, the protocols in place now for getting into grounds are massively changed. I mean, just to cover the game, you know, there's you have to have obviously the tests, the instant ones. I forgot. I think is it lateral flow? They are the instant tests. You have to have 2 of them. There's about 12 forms to read and fill in. Temperature checks. There's just so much involvement now that it's like not last minute you find out, but it's like close to, yeah, they do have Liverpool. So that'll be interesting. Give Liverpool a good kick in. But yeah, I think, like I say, obviously I can't say 100%, but hopefully be covering the 18th. It's a conversation to be had. But yeah, hopefully next Sunday.
Fingers crossed for them, Matt. All right, then, pal. I think we're going to wrap it up there anyway. We've gone on long enough as per usual. If anybody wants to find you, Matt, on the old socials, where can they find you, buddy?
Yeah, on screen, Twitter mainly. Is the best place. Like I've always said, the weekly, it's just easier in it. Good to chat. And yeah, just keep an eye out on Twitter. Like I said, there's always talking points every week, isn't there? And yeah, another thing as well, we may, and I put the may in inverted commas, we may hopefully have the YouTube ready this week. We're certainly hoping so, because Tottenham on the 25th will be our 50th YouTube show, which will be nice. So we're hopefully having the YouTube this week, fingers crossed. So again, just keep an eye, especially on All for United's Twitter, you know, obviously ours as well, but, you know, it'd be great to see people transfer over there. But like I say, Twitter's always the source. It's just easier and better for keeping up to date. And like I say, you know, hopefully we'll get YouTube out, get it there, get everybody across, and it'll be good to go, pal. But yeah, on screen there, and then at All for United WFC. Obviously for just keeping up to date with shows, who's on what, topics, and yeah, the whole host of stuff. And tomorrow's schedule out as well, so keep an eye out for that.
And also just keep an eye out tonight on the All for United YouTube channel, the main show, the main channel, whatever you call it. John Foster should be on that again, you know, for the usual Saturday night where they have a bit of a drink, bit of a laugh. So if you're missing some of your John Foster time, I'm pretty sure he's on it again. It's like the sort of the main hosts of the shows. They go and do a little bit of a show, light high, a bit of a laugh. They're all having a bit of a drink, ripping the piss out of each other and what have you. You know what I mean? Just a bit light-hearted for these pandemic times. So just get yourself over there. Is what? Sorry, is he on the day off? Is he?
I just thought I'd let you just run with that and withdraw on for a bit. No, I think he's on. He said he was on a day off tonight. So I was speaking to him earlier. And he said, "Oh, I'm not on the men's tonight."
I'm not picking up for Judge Jules. He's not even on. You could stop me soon. Like I'm an idiot. Jesus Christ!
That's all right.
I'm the last to know about anything.
Well, you see, I'm just the guy in the know. But no, Judge Jules is going to spin his tapes this evening, so he's on a night off.
Right, he's on a night off, but you can catch him Monday night, though, definitely on Monday night, where we've got me and Matt are not part of the night show.
John's, yeah, that's what he's on. Yeah. John's on Zoom date nights.
Zoom date nights. So me and Matt are not on Monday night's show. I don't think Natalie is either. I'm not 100% sure who's on it, but I know John Foster's on it, and a couple of other people. We're having a bit of a rest. Eh?
Yeah.
So yeah, fucking just obviously tuning on Monday night, usual time, usual place, on Monday the YouTube channel. Like I said, I do want to be up and running hopefully this week at some point, like Matt said. We'll have far more content coming out for you. And my socials is Benny MUFC as usual on Twitter, Benjamin Brazil on Instagram. Yes, I'm going to say it, even though I've not uploaded anything on my YouTube channel, but I've actually got 2 videos done. I just need to go for the editing bollocks. I'll have 2 new videos on my YouTube channel. Father, Sons and United. If you could go up there and chuck us a, what do you call it? Not a follow, what's it called? Oh, subscribe, that's it. Chuck us a subscribe thing. And I'll be very, very happy. I'm on 18 subscribers, by the way. I was well happy with that.
It is.
Last time I turned right, I saw it 12. It was 12. Someone might go, is that all you've got, Ben? But I'm happy with that. Double figures, mate. I remember the days when I just stuck on 2 for about 4 years. But yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great. And we shall see you next week, Matt. I hope you have a good night, buddy. What's he down in there? I thought it was some alcoholic beverage you were down in then. Anyway, I hope you all have a good night, and we shall see you on next week's show. Take care, everybody. And
it is.
It's fucking, I don't know what it is. It's council pop, isn't it? Yeah, anyway, have a good day, everybody, and we shall see you in the next one.
No, it's a rum and coke. I go to.
Rum and coke. Rum and coke. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, people, and we'll see you soon.